Bad closing rates can totally tank your return on investment. If you're spending money on marketing and not seeing a high enough return, sales and sales scripting could be the problem. If you're not yet spending money on advertising, but you're not closing your organic leads, then sales is what you need to focus on before you move into paid advertising. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a phone call framework that any business, B2B or B2C, can use to close more sales calls, virtual consults, or in-person appointments quickly and easily without experience required. So dive into this training and really put it into action to see your sales and conversion rates explode. Today, we are going to be talking about sales calls. So if you are in a business who sells over the phone or on something like Zoom or even in person, this can be used. But this training is critically important because you guys have heard me say this over and over again, but it doesn't matter how many leads you get if you can't close the sale. This is a critical piece that so many businesses are missing. They really want to improve their marketing, but they don't want to take a hard look at their sales process, their sales scripting, and what their sales staff is doing either in appointments, on the phone, or on Zoom. This is the phone call framework, and this is a series of steps that any business can follow to hold effective sales meetings or sales calls, and I'm going to walk you through it today. The first thing to note is that this is typically about a 35-minute to 1 hour call. That will really depend on if they are a good fit, if there's someone who's actually willing to build rapport back with you and answer the questions with more than just a yes or a no. So it could be on the shorter end, but ultimately this type of call can definitely last up to an hour. So I encourage anyone who's doing phone sales, Zoom sales, or in person to give themselves at least an hour, because you don't want to have to cut short a conversation that's going really well that could result in a close just because you have another call or appointment that's scheduled afterwards. So when you first begin this framework, again, we'll call it the phone call framework, but this could also be for in-person or on Zoom. The key thing that you want to focus on right out of the gate is taking control of the conversation. You do not want to leave this up to the lead to decide how this is going to go. You really want to set the stage right out of the gate. So here would be an example of that. Hey, Allie Bloyd here. So it's great to talk to you. Just want to give you a rundown on how this call is going to go. I'm going to ask you some questions about your business, and if it's a good fit or something I can help you with, we'll talk about a good next step, or I just won't waste your time and I'll let you know that right away. Sound good? So you want to get them to buy into the things you're saying. So that phrase, sound good, is having them confirm that yes, that is okay with them. If that's not okay with them and they say, no, that's actually not what I want to talk about, or something like that. I mean, ultimately, I would kind of stand your ground. Again, this is your sales call, your sales meeting. And you want to let them know, hey, I understand that there's specific information you're looking for, but we don't serve anyone and everyone. I need to make sure that you're also a good fit for what it is we can help with, and I'd prefer to make sure of that before we dive into the details. So that can be a good overcoming objection statement for something like that, should you get that right away. The next portion of the call will always be rapport building. So rapport building can be done in a variety of ways. One great thing to do when you are trying to build that rapport is make sure that you've actually looked into the business or the person before you get on the phone with them. You may see right away that you have several things in common. Things like maybe you grew up in the same town or live in the same state, or you've been in the same industry. Maybe you know some of the same people. So those are always really great connectors to start advancing that rapport pretty quickly. So you don't want to, skip over that, because there could be something that allows you to connect with them on a more personal level right away, and you won't know that unless you do your research. So outside of things like that, we really want to ask them, how'd you get started in this business? Or if this is a consumer-based business, ask them more details about what it is your business helps them with, but not so much about you and your services, about their problems, about their goals. So for the business to business side, I always ask them, hey, tell me about yourself. I want to hear about you. I want to hear about the business. And I just let them talk. I want to hear when they got started. I want to hear kind of what the trajectory of the business has been. I want to understand if they are the owner, if they're an employee, if they're a manager or something like that. So I know first and foremost, if they potentially have the authority to even move forward with something like this, but also it helps me understand some of the things that they may deal with. A business owner versus a marketing manager, for example, they're going to deal with very different things. They also may have some goals that are different potentially, or some challenges as to how to achieve those goals. And you really want to be very aware of that because you want to meet each person where they are and approach this conversation from the aspect of really wanting to kind of empathize with where they are and what it is they're looking to do. So a few of the questions that I typically would ask, again, this is for B2B, but you can really customize this for any type of business, would be things like, how long have you been in this business? What's your role? What made you get into this industry? What are some of your greatest challenges? What do you love the most about what it is you're doing? What's your best seller? So I actually like to dig in, again, business to business side, to more of the specifics that will help me understand if there are ideas that I can share with them, right away that will show them that I understand their business. So everyone, it doesn't matter if it's a consumer or if it is a business owner, for the most part, people approach these conversations by kind of assuming that you don't necessarily know specifically what it is they're dealing with, and you want to show them that you are very interested in those details. And so asking them about their best sellers, what are their highest margin products? What does an average sale value look like for you? What's your customer lifetime value? So if you are in the marketing space, those are great questions, not only to show that you're truly interested in the back end of their business and the way that it operates, it's also a really great series of questions to highlight some of the things that they may not know that they really should know. So if you are selling anything, that there is a certain level of knowledge that kind of needs to go along with that. It's not like you're trying to rub it in their face that they don't know these things, but you do want to bring those up because it will allow you and your credibility and expertise to shine through when you can really help them understand why those things are important or what that data may allow them to better understand about their own situation. So I also ask, who's running your marketing day to day? Is this something that's being done by you as a business owner? Are you the marketing manager on your own, or do you also have some support staff underneath you? Is this something that no one's doing right now, or is it something that you're outsourcing or maybe just recently outsourced and now you're kind of figuring out what your next step is? So again, I want to understand the specifics of maybe what they've experienced in the past that we may be able to help them overcome, or what they're dealing with on the day-to-day. I also like to ask about, what have you tried in the past that has or has not worked well for you? And this really could go into any type of product, service, or business, consumer or B2B. You want to know how long they've been trying to solve this problem, whatever this problem is, and what they have tried. Because truthfully, if what you're offering is the exact same as some of the things they've tried and failed with, you either need to know because you don't want to give them more of the same that hasn't worked, or you need to be able to clearly understand how your offerings are different. If someone assumes that what they've tried in the past is exactly like what you are offering, you may not be able to overcome that and close the sale unless you can show them why what they used or tried before didn't work and how what you offer is different and will specifically address the issues they had with those prior solutions that they tried. So we also really want to know about their client base, or again, if it's a B2C business, really get into the specifics of the situation that you help them solve. So I want to know, where do their best clients usually come from, or where do their best leads come from? What are the first things people usually purchase from you? I want to kind of start building this in my head in terms of, okay, are they marketing to the wrong people? Do they not really have a deep understanding of their audience? Do they have a value ladder in place in terms of getting the majority of people in on kind of that first step product or service, and then ascending them to additional products and services that can help them in a more significant way, but also increase the customer lifetime value for that individual person. So we also want to ask, why'd you come to this call or this appointment today? So let them answer, really give them the space to say whatever it is they want to say. Something I really want to make sure you understand is through this process, you want to listen first and speak second. So most of what we're doing here is really asking questions, probing questions. We want to listen. We want to take notes. We don't just want to pretend like we're listening and move through all of these steps. We actually want to hear what they're saying so that we can make sure, number one, that what we're offering is actually a good fit for them and can help them with the goals that they've identified. But number two, we also want to make sure that we can really be specific in some of the things that we're going to talk about later in this framework or appointment/call process. So again, listen, let them speak, be slow to speak and quick to listen. Take those notes, make sure that if there's something they've said that you don't understand, immediately ask them to clarify or to elaborate a little bit more so that you know you've got the information you need to best serve them. So if they say something that is kind of surface level when they're answering these questions. So for example, if I said, hey, so why did you come on this call today? And they said, well, I really want to improve my marketing. Okay, that's a very surface level answer. And so we want to dig to the heart of the problem. Questions like why, very, very simple. That will allow people to elaborate more. So why do you want to improve your marketing? What would that do for your life or for your business? Things like, what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate? What else is affected by this problem that you have? So most of the time, problems are not limited to that one scenario or area of their life or business. It likely impacts a lot of other areas. So for example, if I am someone who is selling health solutions like personal training or weight loss solutions or natural supplements or something like that, if someone says, oh, I came on this call today because I want to get healthier. Okay, well, why? Why do you want to get healthier? Well, I really want to feel better every day. Well, what else is affected by you not feeling great every day? Well, I don't have the energy to run around with my kids. My husband or wife, they want to do things with me and I'm just always too tired. I feel like, there's not a motivation and a drive to get up and give it my best every day. And so I'm not able to give as much to work and my sleep is impacted, which makes me grumpier and not as great of a parent or a friend. So if you let them slide by just saying, oh, I want to get healthier, you wouldn't have heard all of the significant areas of their life that are impacted. And that ultimately, if what you sell is a good fit to help them solve that, you're going to be able to tie that back in later. So we also want to really understand their situation by asking those very specific questions. Again, dig in as much as possible. The next phase is to understand their goals, and you want to lock this down. And what I mean by lock this down is I want them to verbalize a very specific goal, not that surface level answer like we talked about before. So if I say, how much are you doing in revenue, or what do you want to do in revenue? What's your goal? If they say, yeah, I'd like to double my business. Well, we really want to dig in even more. Okay, so what specifically are you trying to achieve on a monthly revenue basis for that to happen? Or how many sales would that take? What does specific success look like for you? And do not move on from this until you get a solid, hard answer. And you don't need to give them feedback on their answer. This is their answer alone, and you just want to make sure that they've really thought about the specific success metrics in relation to your products or services. Then you want to ask them, what has prevented you from getting there? So again, they may talk about some of those things from earlier on, such as things they've tried in the past that hasn't worked, but also they really can dig into why they feel they have not been able to do this on their own. So what you want to do at this stage, after again, they've given you a really solid, specific, hard answer, is you want to ask yourself, is this person a good fit for what I'm selling? If they are not a good fit, you just want to let them know. Say, hey, I really appreciate all the information you've given me. I'm really glad that we were able to go into detail because, through that conversation, I'm able to see that, I don't think we're the best fit for you, but I am going to give you some referrals to either another product or another service, or maybe it's another business that can help them. Do not try and sell people that you cannot help with your product or service. Always remember that, because that's going to lead to happier clients, fewer refunds, fewer disputes, and people really getting the results that your product or service can help them achieve. So once they have shared that information with you, if you do feel like you can help them, then again, ask them, how would achieving that change your business or your life or your relationship or your health or whatever it is that you are selling? Again, dig into how would that impact those other areas that you already shared with me were affected. You really want to make them think about the transformation that would take place if they were able to solve this problem. So every business solves a problem. You need to be the person that can really show them what solving that problem would look like and have them visualize that, really get them in that mindset of transformation. At that point, once they've shared with you how that would really change their life or their business, you want to shift the call. This is really where we're getting into more specifics about the sale. So you want to kind of start this off by saying, I've helped people do what you are trying to do. Again, only say that if you really have and if you really can. Again, end the call and let them know it's not a good fit if it is not. And here's an example of my own business potentially that you could use. So I've helped people do what you want to do. I've helped local businesses generate more leads and more revenue with Facebook and Instagram ads and really seamless online systems without all the confusion and the anxiety and the wasted time and the wasted money. I show you how to set all of it up correctly with a unique strategy just for you. I give you all the templates and resources you need to get it done in less than half the time. This gives you the power to successfully manage your marketing in-house or really ensure that it's successful if you decide to outsource. So I'm not giving them all the specifics of what I'm selling. I'm really sharing with them how I help people like them get the results that they're looking for. So again, I am not listing off every single thing that I offer or what's included or telling them the price. I'm really making sure they understand that this is something I've done before or I've helped others with before or that my product has helped others with before and that I can help them in the same way. If you're enjoying this training so far, make sure you hit that thumbs up button or subscribe to this channel. It really, really helps us out. Once you've established that you can help people like them do what they are trying to achieve, now you need to discuss what it is specifically you're going to offer to them. So that could be a custom solution. If it is, come up with some of the details on the spot. If it's a package that you already offer that has very specific things included in it, then you just want to give them 3 or 4 elements that you believe match what it is they're looking for or that kind of overcome their specific challenges, as opposed to going on a rant talking about anything and everything that's included and really feeling like you're trying to sell them. What you want to do is show them, here is the vehicle that I believe can help you achieve what it is you're looking to achieve, and here are kind of the highlights of that before you go into any more additional details. So that's something that could look like this. Okay, so it sounds like you are a perfect fit for our 12-month mentorship. This is going to be something that comes with an extensive video training library with step-by-step setup tutorials, an insane amount of resources such as fully built back-end packages, ad copy, ad creative, ad examples, scripting for sales. But most importantly, it comes with 4 to 6 hours of live calls with Allie each and every week. You're also going to get a one-on-one customized strategy when you sign up so that you two together can map out your game plan, and she'll give you a customized roadmap for exactly the steps that you need to take to achieve those goals. So then you want to give them kind of that, this is what it will help you do. So something like, this is going to take the anxiety and stress that you've been feeling away completely. You're not going to be alone any longer. It's also going to save you time, which I know is something that you really felt short on, because you're not going to have to come up with anything from scratch. Okay, so that would be my pitch about that program, whatever it is, whether it's custom, whether it's one of the options you already offer. You just want to give them some of the highlights. Now here comes the fun part. You wait. You don't say anything more. You need silence. So what you're looking for here is for them to ask what the price is, or ask some additional questions about what's included. You also may want to hear any potential objections they have about what it is that you just shared with them, so that you can overcome them if there is something that you can overcome that objection with. So ultimately, we're really looking for them to ask for the price. And I know that this is going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people, but you really need to be silent. You need to wait and let them think about it, and they need to be the one that answers next. If this is on the phone, it can feel a little uncomfortable because you can't see the person, you can't read their facial expressions, and you may not even be sure if they are still on the line. So you could say something like, "So tell me what you're thinking," if they've been silent for a while and you're not really sure what it is they're thinking. Or you could say something like, "How does that sound to you?" This should be an open-ended question. You want them to share what it is they're thinking. So ideally, again, they're going to ask what the price is. Then you're going to say, "I'm really glad you asked." Now, you want to recap what it is they've said, what they're looking for, what their goals are, so that they know that you heard them, that you were listening to them, that this is not some pitch that you're throwing out to everyone. That could look something like this. "So what I've heard you say is that you've been doing this for 8 years and you've had decent results, but you're looking to grow by 30%, and that would impact your business in a significant way, giving you more flexibility to take additional trips with your family, to hire more staff, which would also save you time so that you feel like you can actually spend that time with your family," something you've said is really important to you. Are we on the same page? So you want to get them to confirm that what you've said is in fact how they feel, and is in fact a recap of what they've said to you so far. So before you actually go into the price, you want to tell them that you need a decision one way or the other. And you want to try and tie this to things that they've shared with you. So I'll give you an example in a B2B scenario, and you can customize this based on your specific business or the people that you are serving. It would say, "So one thing I've noticed is that people struggle to make decisions, sort of like when people are insert thing that they would relate to." In this example, I can share with you, if I was talking to a remodeling business, so something I've worked with for many years, I could say, "So sort of like when people are remodeling, they often change their minds, or they have a hard time committing to certain styles or processes, or going ahead and moving forward. So what I'd like to ask is that you commit to giving me a decision with a yes or no answer. Yes or no, both totally fine, but I would like a decision one way or the other. Can you agree to that?" This is going to do a couple of different things. This is really going to show them up front that you're not looking for a wishy-washy answer. You just want a yes or a no. If they say no, that's fine, but you don't want to, "Oh, maybe I'll talk to my wife about it," or I'll talk to my business partner, something that they really want to say no, but they're just trying to, get off the hook easy, so to speak. You want to tell them up front that that's not what you're looking for. You're not looking to chase down people. You're not looking to convince somebody that they need something if that person themselves does not know that they need it. So if they say, "Yeah, I can agree to that," you're going to move forward. If they say, "No, I can't agree to that," I would ask them why. "So is there a reason you wouldn't be able to give me a yes or no answer?" If they say, "Well, I do have a partner that I'd like to talk to about it," well, you might even say, "Hey, are you able to get them on the phone right now? Are you able to bring them in your office and talk with them as well? Can we all have this conversation together?" Or maybe it's a better idea if you get your partner to set up a call with the three of us so we can go over this together, if it's something that you really want to do. So again, you need to be in control of the situation and not let someone, yank you around that may not be committed. You want to know how interested they are so that you can invest your time in helping them make the right decision or giving them anything they need to overcome those objections. And if they're not truly interested, you don't want to waste your time. So if they say, yeah, I can agree to that. So you're then going to go ahead and tell them the details. So, okay, great. This program is $7,800 for the entire year. We've only got a limited number of spots in the program that we accept to make sure that the group stays at a size that allows Allie to really give that one-on-one support to everyone who needs it. If there is any sort of promotion going on or sense of urgency or anything like that, you can go ahead and share that. Then we can let them know, hey, if you go ahead and make a decision on this call today, I'm going to give you a $500 fast action discount because you're really eliminating all of that back and forth that comes with all of this unnecessary at times follow-up. And so if you're willing to commit to it today, we'll take $500 off that price. So is that yes or no? They've already agreed to telling you yes or no. So they're either going to say yes, they'll say, no, I don't think it's a good fit. If they say no, I would ask them, hey, thank you so much for being honest with me. Just for future reference, what do you feel was not a good fit for you? I would really love to know whether it's to help serve you better or people like you in the future. It's great to get feedback on those things. You want to hear those things, even if it means that you didn't do a good job in that conversation, or maybe you didn't explain something correctly, or maybe it was that you should have told them that it wasn't a fit earlier on instead of going into this detail. So get them to share why it's a no, but they also could say that they have additional questions or objections, and that's also fine too. We really just want them to be honest so that we can either overcome those objections, share additional details or resources with them that would help them make a more confident decision, or if it's not a good fit, say, great, thank you so much for making that decision. I really wish you the best moving forward. Thanks so much for this call. Have a great day. And it can be as easy as that. So if they say yes, go ahead and move forward. Awesome. I'll send you the payment link now. I'm also going to be sending you an agreement through DocuSign, so you can check that out. But I'd love to go ahead and get the credit card info now. Or you could say, okay, awesome, Visa or MasterCard, or say, great, I'm going to need those credit card details so we can go ahead and lock in that pricing and reserve your spot. If you want to grab that now, I'll be here waiting. So you want to be prepared for people to say yes. You really don't want to say, okay, check your email, I'll send you an invoice later. If you're sending a payment link, you're going to send it right there on the call through text or email, and you are going to stay with them on the phone or on Zoom or in person while they fill that out. It's very easy for people to get busy or to second guess themselves afterwards. So you need to be ready to allow someone to move forward if they've said, yes, this is something that they want to do. So again, real objections, if they have one, overcome it. If they say that they don't have enough money for it, this is something that can definitely be overcome, because ultimately not having enough money is really subjective. It could mean that they don't see enough value in what you're doing to prioritize the funds for what it is you're offering. It could mean that they need a creative financing plan. There's a lot of different things that can mean. And so what I would first ask them is, so is this actually something that you want to do? And if not, that's okay too. Really kind of put the ball in their court. If it's not something they want to do, again, you're letting them off the hook to say no. But very often when people feel like it's now up to them, like, oh no, I really do want to do it, they're going to say that. And so if it is something, then you can say, okay, great. If this is something you want to do, how can we make that happen? So if you do not have official financing to offer, then you could say, what would we need to do to make that happen? And let them come up with the terms. Let them tell you what they need to be able to do it. And if that's okay with you, go ahead and move forward. If you do offer financing, then say, great, I'd love to get you on our financing plan. Here's what I'll need from you. People are a little iffy on financing sometimes. Sometimes the terms are not very great. Sometimes they don't actually meet the criteria for financing. So we usually like to say, okay, let's get you on an in-house financing plan. That's really just an in-house payment plan. You can also have certain terms that, you may need to include, But ultimately, if they come up with the terms that they need to move forward, then you've already sold them. Agree to the terms that they've put out there and it's done. This is going to be an amazing decision for you. Here's what's going to happen next. You're going to get an email with the links to the membership portal. You're going to be able to schedule your one-on-one strategy session. You're going to have access to those resources, but definitely go ahead and get that strategy session booked first so you can get off on the right foot from day one. So again, really prep them for what's going to happen next, what they need to expect, how to get in touch with you if they do not see those things for some reason, because again, technology is not 100%, and you need to make sure that they don't have buyer's remorse because they're not getting the things they thought they were going to get. Now they're having second thoughts about if you're legit or not. So make sure that they have a way to contact you if for some reason these things are not delivered to them, and let them know that so that they can be prepared that, hey, technology is never 100%. If for some reason this just doesn't go through, simply reach out, let me know. I'll make sure to get it to you personally. Otherwise, just follow the steps that you'll get in that email, and we really look forward to working with you. So that is the phone call framework. This is not a script. This is a format that you can use, and the steps should stay the same, but the details within it can absolutely change based on who it is you're selling to and what it is you're selling, as well as what the format of that sale is, whether it's on a call, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's in person. So I'm going to do a quick recap of everything we've covered. Take control right away. Tell them what the process will look like. Build rapport with them and do not move on until that rapport is built. Ask them, why did they come on this call or to this appointment today? Dig to the heart of the problem, understand their situation, lock down their goals with a solid, very clear answer. What has prevented them from achieving those goals with a solid and clear answer. At that point, you decide, is this a good fit for you? Can you really help them? If not, pass them to a referral, give them, some sort of free resource or some instruction on things that might benefit them. But if it is something you can help them with, this is the point that you shift the call. You make sure they understand that you have helped people like them do what it is they want to do and give them a few examples. Then you want to give them 3 or 4 elements of what it is that you feel like is best for them, whether that's a custom package, something you already offer. Maybe it's a certain level of service. Maybe it's a very specific product. Give them the highlights of that. Don't tell them every single thing that's included, because ultimately it could overwhelm them. You want to focus on those things that apply most to their situation, the things that they've told you they need to achieve those goals. Then you want to be silent. You want them to ask for the price or ask additional questions for you to answer, or you want them to give you an objection that you can overcome, but you do not speak until they do. Once they ask for the price, because again, even if they ask additional questions or something that you overcome, you give them the answer and again, you stay silent. If they say, hey, I don't think this is a good fit, all right, great, best of luck. But if they don't say anything, you wait until they ask for the price. Then you want them to commit to giving you a yes or a no answer on this decision so that you're not trying to chase somebody who's not really committed to this. You just want to know one way or the other. If they say yeah, you move forward, you tell them what the pricing is, you can give them some sort of fast action bonus for making a decision at that appointment. If it's a yes, get them to go ahead and take payment right there in front of you or on the call or on Zoom. If they say no, wish them the best of luck. Again, if they've got another objection or something else like that, overcome those things. If they say they have really significant objections that would prevent them from moving forward, really ask them, is this something you really want to do? So if not, that's okay. You can let me know. Again, get them to decide if this is something they want to do. If they tell you what they need in terms of specific objections, it could be a payment objection. Again, we've talked about in-house financing, regular financing, some sort of creative payment plan, or maybe it doesn't have to do with payments, and you could give them some sort of money-back guarantee after a certain period of time. You could give them additional support at no extra charge, whatever it is related to their objection. Again, if they say yes, go ahead and tell them exactly what to expect next, how to get in touch with you, if for some reason they don't get what they're supposed to get. And if they say no, again, wish them the best of luck. Tell them that you're here if things change, and, have a great day. That is really the format of the sales call, the sales virtual call, the sales appointment that anyone can use to close sales at a very high rate and also reduce time spent on leads that aren't truly serious. You are never really shutting someone out in a negative way, so that if things change, if they become more interested in the future, they've got the info and they know where to reach you, and they could always come back at a later time. But this framework can work for someone who's had no sales experience or who's had a lot of sales experience, but maybe they're trying to sell something a little bit new or different. This can be a great way to keep them focused, keep them on track, not let them go off on tangents, and really prevent them from trying to sell before they've truly identified what it is someone needs, what it is someone is looking for, and if you can truly help them. So as you've seen from this framework, you don't even talk price or details about the specific product or service until the end. If you are doing that at the beginning of appointments, you're already blowing the sale. So make sure, if nothing more, you follow this series of steps so that you can increase your close rates, you can increase your revenue, you can see a greater return on investment from your advertising, and that your sales team will actually be put in a great position to flourish and make more money themselves, which is going to make everyone a lot happier at the end of the day. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and let me know any questions you have in the comments. Stay tuned for more videos on sales, marketing, automation, and social media for local businesses, local marketers, and agencies just like you.